Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the great wall of comics. It's another Thursday, so it's time for another episode of Only My Slabs. We're back at it here with another stack of 12 slabs. We are thick in the middle of the Amazing Spider-Man box, or the first of the boxes that are focused and dedicated just to Amazing Spider-Man. So all of these are going to be Silver Age Spider-Man books. I don't remember if there's any major keys in this block that I pulled, but we'll go through them. We'll take a look here, kicking it off right out of the bat here with Amazing Spider-Man issue 17 in a 5.0. So here we've got some Green Goblin action. We've got the Human Torch. And what does it say here? It says second appearance of the Green Goblin, Human Torch cover appearance, and letters from Bill Dubay and Doug Merrick. There you go. So, Amazing Spider-Man 5.0. There's quite a few CBCS. There was a good period of time that I had these books going in for grading during the COVID times, and CGC's backup was ridiculous. I have no problems with CBCS grading, and so I sent the books to CBCS because at the time they were turning books around super fast. So 5.0 white pages. Amazing Spider-Man 17. Geez, 1964. Not bad. Guys, I hope that you'll consider hitting that like button as we go through this, and leave a comment at the end. Tell me which of these books is your favorite. Here we've got Amazing Spider-Man 18. In a 3.5. This is our first Ned Leeds, I believe. First appearance of Ned Leeds. Fantastic Four appearance, Sandman cover appearance, Daredevil, Avengers, Kraven, Doc Ock, and Vulture cameos. Letters from Frank Brunner. So this one's a little bit on the rough side. This is a book I hope to upgrade at some point in not too distant future, but still, it does have good presentation on the cover on it, and I do like this book. A lot of these, because I was collecting the 1 through 100 run, and I finished this before the recent price drops, a lot of these were much more expensive books when I bought them. So now the opportunity to upgrade is presenting themselves on a basis, and I will take advantage of that on some books, including this one. Actually, I've already got an upgrade on the way. This is Amazing Spider-Man 21. It's in just a 2.0 off-white pages. It's got some spine issues. Primarily, it's got a split spine. But otherwise, it looks good. But I am going to upgrade this book. And what will I do with my old books? Well, if I was smart, I'd sell them and make that money back. But apparently I don't like money. And instead, what I usually do, especially with these, is they will be donated to Comix Curing Cancer. So Comix Curing Cancer is a charity that I help run. It's what this channel, actually all the channel revenue that this YouTube channel generates, it goes to Comix Curing Cancer. It's an official campaign of the American Cancer Society. It's an all volunteer run. We do an auction in October. And these books, actually it's a 3-day event, including auctions, where we try to raise as much money as possible. Last couple of years, it's been over $50,000 we've raised for the American Cancer Society. So this book will be going to the Comix Curing Cancer campaign. So there we go. For more information about Comix Curing Cancer, check them out at comixcuringcancer.org. or any of the links down below. All right, Amazing Spider-Man 22. Like this, you get the spider signal or the spider light or whatever. Let people know. Strike fear. Oh no, it's Spider-Man. He's gonna quip us to death. Because he gives out lots of quips, right? So Amazing Spider-Man 22 and a 4.5 CBCS. This is first appearance of Princess Python. Then you got the Ringmaster and the Circus of Crime cover appearance. New thrills, new spider villains, new surprises, Spidey battles the Clown and his Masters of Menace. Interesting. Doesn't say anything about the Clown. I guess maybe that's part of the Ringmaster and the Circus of Crime. This episode might go fast. I don't know. I don't have a ton of great stories about these because, you know, it was a lot of Amazing Spider-Man, this Amazing Spider-Man run. While some of these books I have really distinct stories of picking them up, they're usually the bigger keys. Some of these ones that were just kind of in there, a lot of these were online buys because I couldn't go. Again, I decided to do this collection completely at the wrong time. I decided to build this the Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 100 all slabbed run during the height of COVID. So I'm in it for way more than it's worth for the most part. But the a lot of so there were a lot of online deal purchases on these slabs, but this is Amazing Spider-Man 23, the third appearance of the Green Goblin. This one I've always liked. Actually, this is already my second copy. I know I've upgraded this one previously. I think my original copy was like a 2.5, and I've upgraded because I remember this little thing down here talking about you know, Marvel, you know, whatever they want you. Actually, I'm thinking of a different book. I'm thinking of the one. There's one where it's like talk about retailers and stuff. But this is not it. But still, I like this cover. Here we got Spidey. Woo! Let me dodge and weave. Oh yes, the next. Well, anyways. So yeah, 5.5 off white to white pages. 1965 third appearance Green Goblin. I'm babbling here. I apologize. This just goes to show you that anybody can YouTube. Amazing Spider-Man 24. Here we got one with the custom label. I did not submit the custom label. As many of you know, if you watched my content, I'm not the hugest fan of the custom labels. Not because I don't think they look good. I mean, it does look good up there. If I'm submitting a book and it's going to cost me 15% more, essentially, to have it, I just don't see the value. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 6.5 off-white pages, issue 24. This do we have? This is just a Mysterio appearance. So he's Mysterio's turning the world upside down, making him think he's battling other people that he's not. Nice. This book I do have. This was one of my very early. Might be. This might be one of my earliest ASM pickups. For a long time, this was my oldest ASM book in my collection. And that is Amazing Spider-Man 25. This is the first cameo appearance of Mary Jane Watson. Now, her face is not shown, as we wouldn't see her face until issue 42, some 20 some odd issues later almost. First cameo appearance of Mary Jane Watson, face not shown. First appearance of Professor Spencer Smythe and the Spider Slayer. So this is issue 25. Get that those yellow. This is like a golden age cover almost. The bright yellows with the colors on top of it. It's kind of stuff we saw all the time in the golden age. But here we are, solid in the silver age. Spider Slayer and first Mary Jane, and that's why I originally picked it up before I had committed to picking up the 1 through 100 run of Spider-Man. I picked this up because I had committed to getting all the Mary Jane Watson keys because Spidey and MJ belong together, Marvel. Get your act together. I love MJ. MJ is the greatest. All right, here's another book that I have an upgrade on the way. So this book will also make its way to Comics Curing Cancer in October, and that is Amazing Spider-Man issue 26. This is a 3.0. This is the first appearance of the Crime Master. It's of course not the first time we've seen the character, but or actually, well, Nick Lewis. I'm thinking of somebody else. Um, so, anyways, first appearance of the Crime Master and Patch. Letter from Steve Gerber, Green Goblin cover appearance, and Norman Osborn cameo. So, the man in the Crime Master's mask. Sometimes I start to say things in my mind like, "Oh, it's not really the first person of the character." I can't. I get some of these characters mixed up. Some of these aren't even B villains. These are like D-list villains when we talk about the Crime Master. But this is just, I think he's been in like 2 issues. I don't know. Anyways, so that one will head to Comics Curing Cancer in October. It was a cool cover. Not a big book, but just a cool cover, I think. It's kind of indicative of a lot of these books where at this time where Spider-Man's just in trouble constantly. There's another Green Goblin cover, and that is Amazing Spider-Man issue 27. Here he is, chained up. Bring my goblin back to me, and he's just surrounded by all kinds of thugs coming to get him. You can, of course, see why we've got a 4.0 along here, all this Marvel chipping. Or would we even call that Marvel chipping? Or I don't know at that point we call it Marvel chipping or not. But actually, this 4.0 might be almost. I mean, we also have some stress lines along this side. It definitely, he had a good crease there. Is I think a 4.0 might be almost a generous grade on it. I think it must be a really solid book because I mean that big crease plus all that plus so, hmm. Yep, I think I got luck on that one. This book, extremely difficult book to get in a high grade. I'm super happy with the grade I got considering there is again with this book edge wear, everything else, but this is Amazing Spider-Man 28. It's the first appearance of the Molten Man. I mean, just so much black on this cover. It is horrible to find or to get one in high grade on it. And Peter Parker graduates. So, what is this? First appearance and origin of the Molten Man. Peter Parker graduates high school. And our second appearance of the Spider Slayer. Oh, this is again. This is another one book where I've already upgraded it. My original copy was like a 1.5 or something, really low grade, but this is one of my favorite covers. I love the early Scorpion covers. I think they're great. This is the second appearance of the Scorpion in Amazing Spider-Man 29. Just one of my all-time favorite covers for this run. Um, One of my top 10. Let's just put that top 10 because I do have a lot of covers I really do like. This one is in the top 10 though. Never step on a scorpion, whatever you do, wherever you go. 6.0 off white pages. I'm super happy with that. Could I upgrade? Absolutely. Will I? No. Super happy with mid-grade books in this collection. This one suffers from he's got some serious spine roll here, but hey, love that book. Love that cover. Mwah! Oh, that's some Ditko greatness right there. All right, believe it or not, guys, that is 11 books. That means just last one here. This is the 12th and final book for this pickup. Now, this book is perhaps one of the single most important books in Spider-Man lore, I would say. If you're into Spider-Man, I think this book is extremely pivotal, and extremely important because it links and has effects on Spider-Man to this day beyond what just happens in this book. And this is Amazing Spider-Man 31. So this is our first appearance of Gwen Stacy, our first appearance of Harry Osborn, and then also first appearance of Professor Miles Warren. So, and then a letter from Don McGregor. Who cares about the letter from Don McGregor? Sorry, buddy. So Gwen Stacy, first appearance, Harry Osborn, who of course will later on become a Green Goblin, and of course Professor Miles Warren, who's going to become the Jackal. So what do we get from this book here? We get Gwen Stacy, Peter's early love interest, but later she will die at the hands of Norman Osborn, Green Goblin. This is going to cause Peter to it's a very anchoring moment throughout the rest of Peter's history, that it's his like responsibility. He already has this idea of this power, great power comes great responsibility from Uncle Ben, but now he gets this idea that he has to do everything possible to save every possible innocent. And this was one of his most pivotal failures, was when Gwen Stacy dies. So her introduction as a character serves so pivotal to how who he is as a character today. Harry Osborn, of course, the friend becomes a great friend of his, but then becomes one of his biggest enemies when Harry becomes the Green Goblin. Right? That's tremendously painful for Peter. But then, of course, we've got Miles Warren as the Jackal. Now, the Jackal in himself, not that big of a deal, except that the Jackal and Miles Warren do the clones. He's responsible for clones. He's responsible for the Scarlet Spider, who's now Chasm. We're responsible for any and anything to do with the clones, the spider clones, which continue to reverberate today throughout Amazing Spider-Man. So just a huge book in my mind. One of those most important books that if you're a Spider-Man fan, you need to have it in your collection. I think it's also very underrated, and people forget about those things. And if you don't piece it all together, people like to talk about the first appearance of maybe the Green Goblin or this or that, the other thing. That's a huge book. Um, Absolutely. I mean, I remember I picked this book up. I picked this book up at C2E2, I think. One year. Well, it was one of the first. Yeah, I think C2E2. It was one of the first community YouTube community gatherings where Chris the Comic Vet and I and some of the other YouTubers got together and hung out at a con. And during that event, that's where I picked that book up. And that's going to do it, guys. That's this week's episode of Only My Slabs. Leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe. All the other fun stuff. And until next time, make sure you collect what you want. Don't listen to anybody, including me. I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.